They were Hollywood's golden couple, the goat of football and the queen of the runway. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen seemed to have it all: love, family, fame, and a combined empire worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But behind the curated Instagram posts and front-page magazine covers, something was quietly breaking. And in 2022, the world was blindsided when this seemingly unshakable power couple announced their sudden divorce. What happened to the perfect marriage? Why did Gisele walk away after 13 years, just when Tom's career looked more legendary than ever? And how did a $250 million fortune turn into a symbol of emotional sacrifice and personal awakening? Today, we uncover the real story behind Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady's shocking split, and why it isn't just about celebrity gossip, but a global conversation about love, sacrifice, identity, and self-worth. Gisele and Tom's story began in 2006, introduced by a mutual friend. At the time, Gisele was the highest-paid supermodel in the world, with global campaigns for Chanel, Dior, and Victoria's Secret. Tom? He was the NFL's top quarterback, already building his dynasty with the New England Patriots. From their very first meeting, the chemistry was electric. The media couldn't get enough of them, a real-life Barbie and Ken built for the spotlight. In 2009, they tied the knot in an intimate ceremony, followed by a second celebration at Gisele's home in Costa Rica. Over the next decade, they raised a beautiful blended family, lived in designer homes across the globe, and became symbols of success, wellness, and discipline. But perfection was only what the cameras captured. Inside their marriage, priorities were quietly colliding. For years, Gisele had stepped back from her modeling career. She became the primary caregiver to their children and took on the role of supportive wife. While Tom trained, traveled, and focused on football, Gisele was the one managing school runs, planning meals, and handling home life. In public, she remained graceful. But in interviews, she hinted at her struggles. She admitted she had put her dreams aside for the sake of their family. All she wanted in return was time. Time with Tom. Time for herself. Time to finally be seen. In early 2022, it finally seemed like she'd get her wish. Tom Brady announced his retirement from the NFL. Gisele was thrilled, and why wouldn't she be? After more than a decade of emotional and domestic labor, it was finally her turn. But just 40 days later, everything changed. Tom unretired. His return to the NFL wasn't just a headline, it was a message. One that echoed through their marriage. That football and legacy came before family. Gisele was devastated. Sources close to the couple revealed that this was the breaking point. She had stood by him through wins, losses, injuries, and intense schedules. But now, she felt like her sacrifices had been overlooked, again. Tensions in the marriage grew. Arguments became more frequent. Gisele reportedly moved out temporarily, seeking space and reflection. Friends say she spent more time in Costa Rica and Miami, focusing on her kids and mental well-being. Meanwhile, Tom immersed himself back into football, but the spark had faded, on and off the field. By October 2022, the couple officially filed for divorce. The proceedings were swift and silent, with both agreeing to joint custody and a peaceful resolution. There was no drama, no public mudslinging. Just a quiet ending to a loud love story. But what made headlines next was the scale of what was being divided. Their Florida mega mansion, estimated at over $17 million. A stunning New York City penthouse. Gisele's serene Costa Rica compound, where she'd go to heal. And joint investments and ventures worth millions. Tom's net worth? Roughly $250 million. Gisele's? An astonishing $400 million, thanks to smart investments, real estate, her skincare line, and decades at the top of the modeling world. Their split wasn't just emotional, it was one of the wealthiest divorces in celebrity history. But Gisele wasn't focused on money. She was focused on herself, something she hadn't done in years. In the months that followed, she re-emerged, glowing, grounded, and fiercely independent. She was spotted at yoga retreats, beachside meditations, and later, back on the runway and the cover of Vogue Brazil. She walked solo at high-fashion events, and fans noticed something different. Gisele wasn't just back, she was reborn. In her first post-divorce interview, she said, "Sometimes, we grow apart. We evolve in different directions. And that's okay." Her calm voice carried volumes. For millions of women who had sacrificed for their partners, Gisele became a quiet hero, someone who chose self-respect over comfort and independence over invisibility. Tom Brady eventually broke his silence, too. In podcasts and interviews, he confessed the divorce had been painful and humbling. He admitted it made him reevaluate everything: his priorities, his role as a father, and his ability to truly be present. In early 2023, he officially retired again, this time, for good. But for many, the gesture felt too late. He may have won more championships than any player in NFL history, but he lost something even bigger: his partner, his teammate, his home. This wasn't just a breakup. This was a symbolic shift, a moment when the world saw what happens when a woman says, "No more." The Gisele-Tom divorce sparked global conversations about gender roles and high-achieving couples, the invisible emotional labor so many women carry, the cost of choosing someone else's dream over your own, and the truth that luxury without love is just loneliness in disguise. And then there's the deeper message, one that resonates far beyond celebrity status. It's about women reclaiming space in relationships. It's about being more than someone's support system. It's about emotional presence being more valuable than any financial asset. Gisele didn't leave because she stopped loving Tom. She left because she finally started loving herself. She left because she realized that waiting, year after year, for someone to show up, was no longer enough. In the end, she didn't just walk out of a marriage. She walked into her power. She didn't trade in luxury for loneliness. She exchanged silence for self-worth. She didn't give up on love. She gave love back, to herself. What do you think? Was Tom wrong to return to football? Was Gisele too patient for too long? Or was this her boldest act of self-love? Let us know in the comments. And if you felt this story, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell, because we're not just telling celebrity stories. We're sharing the emotional truths behind them. And even after the headlines faded, the echoes of this divorce still lingered. It wasn't just about two people separating, it was about what happens when one person grows and the other refuses to notice. Gisele had evolved. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally. She began investing not just in businesses or real estate, but in herself. She studied wellness, Ayurveda, mindfulness, things that football fields could never offer her. She was no longer the woman waiting for someone to come home. She was already home, within herself. Tom, on the other hand, faced a different kind of silence. The roar of the crowd couldn't replace the quiet moments he had missed: school plays, bedtime stories, lazy Sundays. He had won everything, but not without loss. And for millions watching, this story was more than celebrity drama. It was a mirror. A wake-up call. That sometimes, the greatest loss isn't a failed marriage. It's waking up too late to realize what, or who, you took for granted. Because in the end, money fades, careers end, but emotional presence? That's priceless. And once it's gone, you can't win it back with rings.
Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel.